Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. So, take a quick look at whatever device you're using right now to tune into this. Whether it's a smartphone, a tablet, or a laptop, I want you to take just a brief second and really imagine the truly incredible, literally globe-spanning physical journey its individual parts took before finally landing right there in your hands. Seriously, ask yourself, how many countries did your laptop visit before it even reached your desk? It's so easy for us to just picture manufacturing as something that happens inside one giant local factory, right? But today, we're going to totally immerse ourselves in the immense physical scale of modern manufacturing. And trust me, it is a scale that spans oceans and continents. To actually map out this crazy physical journey, we first need to look at Section 1, the global assembly line. Think about a typical laptop supply chain. It's like a giant puzzle. The United States might act as the headquarters, handling all the marketing and strategic planning. Then, just up north, Canada takes care of the intense research and development. From there, we jump all the way across the world. Taiwan manufactures the incredibly complex semiconductors, South Korea pumps out the memory chips, and Japan provides these highly precision components. All of those pieces eventually flow into China, where the actual assembly plant puts the whole shebang together. And it doesn't stop there. From China, Singapore acts as this massive regional logistics hub, just to ship it out to distribution centers in places like Houston, and eventually, well, the rest of the world. Okay, let's dive a bit deeper into this incredibly intricate orchestration by looking at a specific order process. What actually happens when a customer clicks buy on a massive e-commerce site like Alibaba? Well, that single click triggers an absolute chain reaction using data and real-time tracking. The customer order pings the Hangzhou headquarters, which instantly routes through a global database using big data and SQL servers. This immediately notifies suppliers in Taiwan, Korea, and Japan to start sending materials over to manufacturing in China. Once it's built, smart logistics hubs in Singapore consolidate the products, distribute them to places like North America, and, this is the crazy part, simultaneously, back-end financial systems automatically generate multi-currency reporting. All of that from just one click. Let's zoom in even further to a really vital supply chain component, the microchip. Because even the tiny subcomponents inside your laptop have their own insanely complex global supply chains. A single semiconductor chip might involve design in one country, wafer fabrication in another, and packaging and testing somewhere else entirely. International collaboration isn't just nice to have here, it's absolutely mandatory. To put that into perspective, despite the microchip being physically tiny, global demand for them is so vast that Malaysia alone, which is a premier hub for assembly and testing, supplies roughly 13% of the entire global demand. 13%! That is massive for just one country. So, with parts flying everywhere and data pinging across oceans, how does this logistical chaos avoid just completely falling apart? Well, that brings us to Section 2. Meet the invisible brain. The real hero of our story here is a Global Information System, or GIS. At its core, it's an integrated network designed to collect, process, store, and distribute data on a massive global scale. Basically, it enables organizations to manage and share information across multiple countries completely seamlessly. Think of it as the digital nervous system, or kind of like an invisible string that ties the entire global factory together. Let's ground this abstract concept a bit, because you actually interact with these systems all the time. Enterprise resource planning systems like SAP or Oracle manage resources across global offices. E-commerce platforms like Amazon and Alibaba, they run worldwide marketplaces. And everyday global communication tools like Microsoft Teams or Slack allow for cross-international collaboration. These are the highly tangible systems that businesses use every single day to scale their operations and connect worldwide. Which brings us to the real climax of our narrative today. Section 3, Hurdles of Going Global. Because you might be wondering, what are the actual roadblocks when setting up these massive digital brains? I mean, they can't just work perfectly right out of the box, right? First off, the business and legal challenges are immense. Companies have to navigate incredibly complex data privacy laws, like the GDPR in Europe or the CCPA over in California. Then there's localization. These systems must adapt to different languages, currencies, and unique cultural expectations. You also have to battle super inconsistent data formats when you're trying to integrate information across borders. And of course, operating on a global scale massively increases your exposure to global cybersecurity threats, hacking, and data breaches. And then you have the physical, technological roadblocks. Integrating heterogeneous legacy systems, which, just means mismatched older software and hardware across different regions, it's a total nightmare. Add to that uneven internet and power infrastructure, Regions with frequent power outages directly disrupt data availability for the whole chain. Implementation costs are also incredibly high. And let's not forget the literal headache of real-time time zone coordination when you're trying to sync up live operations worldwide. Knowing all of these logistical, legal, and technological hurdles, how do you even organize human beings to manage it all? That's what we cover in Section 4, Structuring a Global Giant. Generally, you contrast two distinct approaches here. On one side, you have a centralized structure. This is highly hierarchical, rigid, top-down, and entirely focused on efficiency and predictability. It's great for stable, mature industries. On the flip side, a decentralized structure is flatter, way more flexible, and spreads decision-making authority out across various levels. It really prioritizes responsiveness to local needs and promotes horizontal communication, which makes it ideal for fast-changing industries. But as you'll see, many global giants realize they don't want to be locked into just one of those. Enter the balanced matrix organization. This approach actually splits power between functional managers and project managers. By using a matrix, a company gets the clear chain of command efficiency of a centralized structure, but combined with the flat, innovative flexibility of a decentralized one. Basically, they get the best of both worlds. So, how does a company actually decide how to organize? Well, it all depends on Section 5, choosing your global strategy. There are basically four main global strategies a company can take. A domestic exporter, like Boeing, essentially manufactures at a home base and just exports globally without any extensive adaptation. A multinational, like Nestle, customizes its products and operations heavily to meet specific local tastes. Franchisers, think McDonald's, create a brand centrally but let local units operate independently on their license. And finally, a transnational, like Unilever or Toyota, operates as a fully integrated global network, very carefully balancing global efficiency with regional adaptability. Depending on that chosen strategy, different business functions are going to be centralized or decentralized. It's really fascinating how a domestic exporter centralizes almost everything: production, finance, human resources, strategy, the whole lot. But if you look at a multinational, you'll notice they completely decentralize production and sales, so they can truly adapt to those local markets. A transnational uses a highly balanced approach across almost all of their functions. Ultimately, the global information system itself must mirror the business strategy. If you're a domestic exporter, you use centralized systems totally located at your home base. If you're a franchisor, you might use duplicated systems that are handed over to autonomous foreign units. A multinational uses decentralized systems, where each foreign unit designs its own unique solutions. And a transnational? They rely on fully networked systems, developing and operating in a totally coordinated fashion across all global units. Now, I want to leave you with a bit of a challenge. Put yourself in the shoes of a strategist today. Imagine you've just been handed a cool $1 million budget, and you must use these exact global information system concepts we've covered to formulate short and long-term plans to save Blockbuster. Yep, Blockbuster. How would you structure their IT? What global strategy would you pick? Think about it. How exactly would you use an invisible global brain to bring a dead giant back to life? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating topic with me today, and I really hope this changes how you look at that device sitting right there on your desk.